Hello, travel enthusiast. Welcome. We were recently on a Disney cruise and we got to go to their private island in the Bahamas, Castaway Cay. And before we went, we had a ton of people telling us that it is the best private island. But is it really? We are going to tell you our top 5 things that we loved and hated about our time at Castaway Cay. Keep in mind these are our experiences, so yours may be different. I'm Linda and this is Erin and we're with Traveling Flamingo, so let's get into it.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we really loved was Serenity Bay. So we went without kids. You know, there's always the question as to, is it good for adults? But we enjoyed our time. Serenity Bay was great, really big, pretty remote in terms of its location on the island, which was nice. And you were able to enjoy everything you would need. I found
So sorry, it's the adult only area.
Yes.
So you had to be 18 and plus to go to Serenity
Yes.
Bay, and there is a bus transfer. Not a big deal to get onto their other tram, but
I found that the chaise lounge chairs were all on angles because it was very steep, the Serenity Bay area there, and they've got 2 stacked together. We'll put in a picture if we have a picture of it.
it really was a beautiful beach. It was very slow, actually, Erin, being
Yeah,
so
slow.
tall for us to get out in deep water, even deep enough that we could sort of sit down and wait around in. It took quite a bit, and it was a hot day, so
Yeah.
we really did want to try and get out deep and wait around. But the water was absolutely beautiful. There are tons of chairs and umbrellas, and there's a bar right there with some shade as well, washrooms, and the food is right there. So we did meet some people who just spent their whole day at Serenity Bay. They didn't bother going anywhere else and had a fabulous time.
And it is a bit farther to get to. You take one tram, then you jump on a second tram because it's that far out of the way. But it was really nice, and they had a little bar there. Yeah, there's its own little bar. They've got a restaurant for people that are there. So you got everything you need in one spot. So
Yeah.
we really enjoyed that.
That was great. The next thing that we really enjoyed was the variety of food. When we were there, the food in the adult only, the Serenity Bay area, was the same as the food everywhere else, but you had burgers and hot dogs, but you also had steaks and ribs, and there was quite a bit, as well as tons of fresh fruit. And as I said, it was so hot when we were there, and that is really what I wanted, was just
Yeah.
a bunch of fresh fruit. I think at one point I had a plate of like watermelon and some of their delicious cookies. So
Well, and free ice cream, as they have on the ship as well. But
yes, making one of your own little ice cream sandwiches is a very popular thing to do as well. But yeah, we were really happy
Yeah,
with
it
the
was
food
good.
selection. Non-alcoholic drinks from the soda machines are included, so they have all your pop and everything else. But they also had Powerade and water. So just make sure you're staying hydrated. I found that wherever there was a food station, that was there.
and it was good soda. Some of them, when the drinks are included, not looking at Virgin specifically, the drinks seem to be watered down somehow. Whereas as you would assume at Disney, it is full on, like it is a Coke product as you'd assume, but it's properly done Coke, not just way more carbonation than it is Coke syrup.
Yeah, so the food, the quality was, you're on a beach, it's there. Food quality maybe wasn't the best, but the selection was really good. And I would say even when you compare it to other private islands, that's usually what you get. And the quality isn't usually the best, but I did appreciate
it
the
was
amount of variety.
burgers, hamburgers,
Yeah.
it was hot dogs, it was, they had steak, which was nice.
They even had a bottle refill station near the bar in Serenity. Again, like just a water bottle fill, so staying
The rooms are pretty
hydrated.
good too. Like, there's a good amount of food.
Yeah, we liked it.
Yeah. Snorkeling? Linda's favorite, snorkeling?
Well, we had so much fun snorkeling. Unfortunately for Aaron, his glasses, they're very thick. He cannot see without his glasses, and we forgot his contacts. So he came out with me, and we had our GoPro, and we did a ton of snorkeling. It was so much fun. That was definitely something we were looking forward to doing on the island. If you don't know, they have some Disney little things out there as well, and
Yeah, that
some
you can
throwbacks.
snorkel too. It's a big snorkel area, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But it's really cool. They got a bunch of Donald Duck and so forth underwater that you can find. And
the farther you go, the more sea life there is as well, because they do have other little sort of random shape things for fish to swim in and out of. And I found the farther we were, the more fish there were around those. And we did snorkel later in the day, so I'm sure they'd been pretty disturbed by people throughout the day.
Yeah.
But also legit a stingray underneath us. We were just swimming, didn't even realize, and I looked down with the GoPro and there it was. So there is some serious wildlife. I think people have seen turtles. There's serious wildlife in there. So, as much as, and it's, I think, a well-controlled family fun snorkeling event. So we did really like that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I think another pro is that there are a ton of chairs and umbrellas, a lot. There are 3 different beaches. I mean, providing you don't get off in the middle of the day, you're going to find a chair and an umbrella. You know, you may have to walk a little bit, but, you know, we're very...
I think we saw every second chair basically had an umbrella, which was nice.
Yes. I keep saying, we were there during a heat wave, so talking about shade, talking about staying hydrated. So having umbrellas, making sure people can be in the shade is really important, especially for families. So I was really happy with how many chairs and umbrellas there were for people. There was tons of shade. Even the food areas, there was a ton of shade there. So I was really happy with the amount of chairs and shade. And of course, it's all part of the private island, so you're not paying any extra to have a chair and an umbrella.
And they have a lot of really cool sort of things on the island. You know, we don't want to go through everything, but they've got, you know, specialty drinks at one of the certain bars there. They've got a really cool themed bar. They've got just some really interesting and good theming like you'd expect from Disney. And they sort of joke around a bit on the island. Like you'll find some of the executives and so forth's names on stuff. Like there's the Bob Iger, forget, like shrimp boats or something. And so, you know, they sort of, like, it's kind of fun. They seem to have some fun on it.
Another pro, we did not take advantage of it this time, but, you know, is there, and speaking with a lot of other people we met on the cruise, is they even have a kids area, a supervised kids area on the island. So age 3 and up, they've got Scuttle's Cove for 3 to 12. And so you can have a bit of family fun, and then you can drop your kids off and you can go try one of these bars. You can head to Serenity, you know, and check out what that's like. And also for the kids, they'll be meeting friends on the ship. You know, they do such a great job. There's so many fun activities. You know, I'm a teacher, I was talking to one of my students the other day, was on a cruise, and he went every day to these kids areas, and he had so much fun. So even for the kids sometimes, you know, to be able to be playing with other kids, not just their siblings, blah. So this is, Disney is the only one that we've been on so far, their private island, that has an included kids area where parents can drop their kids off to, so they can have a bit of fun. You can do what you need to do. And then, you know, get back together later on in the day to keep the family fun going. So we were really impressed with that. And the people we spoke to who did make use of it really loved it as well. But it does fill up. So just know, you know, probably around those peak times of day, it's going to be busier. So, you know, plan that out with your family, but definitely, you know, take advantage of that.
So on to the things that we didn't like as much. I don't think I'd go as far as to say hate it, but it was things that we didn't like as much.
But some people will hate that.
I get that.
So
and it was from not just our experience, but other people that we talked to. So, you know, in terms of the vibe we got from people that were on the cruise, as well as our own opinions, some of the things we didn't like. So one was there's no pool, like there's no chlorinated pool. You have the ocean, of course, which is great, but there's no like individual pool really. And
I say some people really would hate not having a pool because not everybody is comfortable swimming in the ocean. Not everybody is comfortable swimming. So being able to just stand in a pool and know that, you know, you're in the pool, you're not in the ocean. Not everybody's comfortable with wildlife that's in the ocean. I mean, Christine is my sister. We cruised together last year, so if you've seen some of our other videos, you'll know she's one of them that would way prefer a pool. Her sister-in-law, and that, like, a lot of people who would prefer a pool and would feel more comfortable with that. I mean, on Royal Caribbean's Perfect Day at Coco Cay, they've got the biggest pool there, and it is packed. Like, a lot of people are in the pools. So there is no pool. Your options for swimming is the beaches.
Yeah, I think too, I think they're rectifying. So I'll put in a slide of the Lighthouse Point. That is the new island that Disney's bought. I believe that is going to have a pool. So I guess we'll have to try that one. But in terms of Castaway Cay, that doesn't have a pool. So
yeah, so there's definitely been feedback around not having a pool. The next one I would say is around the snorkeling, is that you need to have a life vest. So regardless if you're snorkeling in the adult-only area, there's some people who had brought their snorkeling gear to go out there. They were required to put on a life vest there. We're proficient swimmers, and Aaron also, he has a hernia from his surgery. It's pretty big. We're waiting for a surgery, hopefully very soon. But the life vest did not sit properly on him because of the size of the hernia and where it is. The life vest kept pulling up around his, and it really was not comfortable for you. I think
that's a unique scenario.
That is a unique scenario, but no matter how strong of a swimmer you are, no matter if you are going past the certain area, if you are snorkeling, you have to have a life vest on. And, you know.
Well, and some of them, there were a few people that I had heard of who were getting like little cuts from the plastic from the life vest from moving their arms in it. So it's good so they can actually see where people are snorkeling for safety reasons, but
well, and that would be another pro, is that there are lifeguards. Not on the Serenity Beach. I don't remember seeing them there, but on the...
There was, I believe, one.
Just the one, yeah. So on the family then beaches, there are lifeguards out there. So so you were the one who pointed out they probably don't want people lying flat down, where if you have a life vest on, it's very clear that you're snorkeling and that's why you're lying like that. In terms of the life vest, neither of us got cut from them. I had no problem with it. It was uncomfortable for you, but that's just something to keep in mind. Even if you're a fantastic Olympic level competitive swimmer, you will be putting on a life vest.
It sort of reminds me of the, in some ways it reminds me of the picture of the swimmers at the Olympics, and there was a lifeguard who's there for the Olympic swimmers. Which I always thought was sort of a funny picture. Because, of course, they got to have a lifeguard. But
yes.
You're also there with some of the best swimmers in the world. And, can you imagine if something did happen? That would be quite funny.
Yes. Yes. You're wearing a life vest.
Yeah.
Another con, our third negative that we had, is also related to the snorkeling. And it's more of just a heads up. You do have to swim far, especially if you want to see all of the Disney characters or models that they have in the water. I was actually surprised, being that it's a family beach and being that it's really family Disney being family oriented, how far out you had to go for that. I sort of thought they would have those closer up, and then maybe the farther, more sort of coral-like things farther out that people could go to just maybe see more of the wildlife versus their own sort of statues in the water. But again, we met people who weren't able to go the whole way out because it is quite a swim, and depending the wave situation, they do have it blocked off. When we were there, the waves were not bad.
Yeah, it's got its own breakwater, so it shouldn't usually be too bad, but it's still a lot of swimming.
It's far out, and you cannot stand. It is deep. You do have your life vest. You can turn on your back to take a break, or lie on your stomach, take a break, but it is far. So if you are not comfortable swimming, if you're not comfortable being out...
I do think one benefit of it is half of the distance you can walk out. Because there is that large... Now, there's a lot of, at least when we were there, seaweed. So if you're not a big fan of seaweed, be warned. But, it's almost like the way that the water works there is there's an entire part that you can walk in. Then there's a bit where you have to swim, where it's a bit deeper. And then it's shallow again. And then once you get to that shallow area, it's then deep where all the stuff is. Yeah,
you're right. You can take a bit of a break there, but for people who...
Yeah, it's still a far.
It's still far. And if you're not comfortable and you're way out and you're looking back at the amount that you have to swim back in, I mean, as I said, that's probably why they've got the lifeguards. They do have lifeguards there, but heads up, we did meet people who were not able to complete it.
Yep.
Another con, and depending when you can sail, as a teacher, we were there in the summer and it is hot. It is very, very hot, and I don't think there's much you can do about that, but I think, being that the food, you're outside, there was just no opportunity, I think, in that heat wave to really cool down, other than and even the water was so the ocean was really hot. I don't know if you heard on the news this summer. So it is a very, very hot island to be to, especially if you are there in the summer. So make sure you're staying hydrated. Start the day with lots of water. Make sure the kiddos who just want to keep playing all day are getting some water and water breaks, having some water at wherever you set up home base and you've got your towels and toys, having some water there, because nobody wants to get heat stroke or anything like that. And it is very, very hot. Yeah. I was surprised, I'm somebody who loves the heat, how hot I was getting.
And again, it was a heat wave for us, but it does get hot there anyways. It's like going to Disney in the summer. It's hot.
Yeah, just be prepared.
Yeah, it gets warm. Prepare yourself for it. But it should be okay. Find shade every time you can.
Yeah.
And drink lots of water. But yeah, it's hot. And if people don't like the heat, then you're really going to have not a good time.
Yeah, if you really, really do not like the heat, then you're probably actually better off just enjoying the ship and how quiet that is. Mm-hmm. Okay, our last thing that is a negative or con would be that there's no free Wi-Fi. And the Wi-Fi, even if you've bought it on the ship, you can use it on the island, but it was not great.
Yeah, Serenity Bay had no Wi-Fi access for us, so we wound up just using the Bohemian telco, whatever it is, service. So yeah, for the most part, the Wi-Fi was not great on the island.
Yeah, so if you've bought the Wi-Fi package to be connecting with family and everything, and yes, like on the ship, we didn't have a problem with it, but it's not as great on the island, and there is no free Wi-Fi on the island as well.
Yeah.
Okay, our last one, our last thing that is a negative So there, I think that's
Yeah, I
it.
think
There you
that's-
have it. Our 5 things we loved and hated about, Castaway Cay. And heads up to you, some tips there to prepare for your day.
We'll definitely be back. We enjoyed the characters. It was fun to see all the characters that were out there, and we really enjoyed it. We enjoyed our time, and I think it's a great island to go to. There's so much stuff that you get to do. Of course, there's some negatives, but at the end of the day, it's a lot of fun, and it is a great island. What people say about it is true. It's a lot of fun, and it's really entertaining. There's a lot you can do.
I think that's where you can choose how long you want to spend on the island, right? If you're just wanting to get off, have a little bit of time at a beach, maybe see some of the characters in their beach clothes and then get back on, that's an option too. And if you want to get off, and we actually spent the whole day, because of course we had to go to all the beaches and see everything so we could share with you guys, but you don't have to do that. So you can definitely make it what you want it to be, I would say.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we are going to have a lot more content around our Disney cruising experience and tips for you guys. We were on the Disney Wish, which was great.
Beautiful ship. This is a bit more of a new format for us, so if you like this format, please let us know. If you prefer the older format, please let us know. It's a bit more of a sort of chat style versus a formal video, but we will try to insert what we can in post-production so you can see what we're talking about. But that's...
Yeah, so make sure you check out our channel, because we've got cruising information about other cruise lines or ports and hotels and tons of stuff. We also have another channel, Flamingos in Wonderland, where we talk about all things Disney and theme parks, so check that out as well. Thank you so much for your support and taking the time out of your day to watch our video and support us. We do really appreciate that. Thanks again for watching. As we say, memories are forever, so make them fabulous. Thanks again, and happy travels.